Hi, this is Cintia with simplycintia.com. Thank you so much for watching. Today, I am answering a couple of questions from you. The question was, what would you ask a person who lost over 50 pounds? The person would be me. So I'm going to be sharing about my journey today. So the first question is, are you scared of gaining it back? Also, what would you do to ensure that you don't gain it back? So I'm not scared of gaining it back. Partly because of experience. I lost major weight before I had my son. And then when he turned 6 months, I was expecting my daughter. And then I gained the pregnancy weight. Lost it after I had the baby. And then when she was 22 months, I had another baby. So I was not afraid of the weight gain. Now I know that fear brings about torment. So I try to make sure that I don't let fear be a permanent part of my journey. So I'm not scared of gaining it, partly because I've lost it. You know, you have a baby, you gain weight, you lose it again. But also I try to make sure that the fear of gaining it back doesn't bring me any torment. So how I ensure that I don't gain back? I heard somebody say that they give themselves a little wiggle room. So mine is 5 pounds. So when I'm within that range, I play. When I'm above that range, I pay. So by paying means I go back to my basics. I make sure that I'm eating correctly, that I'm using my food journal, which works wonders for me, that I'm drinking enough water. So that's what I do. So when I'm within it, I play. When I'm above, those 5 pounds, I pay. So that's how I ensure that I don't gain it back. Thanks for the question. The next question is, what time of the day was most challenging to keeping our diet? And I don't have a specific time, but I can tell you that every time I'm tired is difficult to keep eating well and making right choices. So what I do is I try to make sure that I'm not chronically tired all the time. We all go through seasons where we're tired, and what I try to do is I get some rest, or I plan my day. So if I have a plan, I am most likely to follow it. Meaning, if I plan what I'm going to eat that day, or if I have healthy food ready for me to eat, I am most likely to do it. When there's nothing and I'm tired, I am more likely to make the bad choices. So that's the answer to that question. The next question is, how do you manage yourself when you are really tired and have no calories left till during the last few hours of the day? And the person said, this is my most difficult struggle. So I appreciate the honesty there. So when I'm really tired and I have no calories left during the last few hours of the day, what I learned to do is to make good choices. Meaning, if I have to have dinner, I will have dinner. I will make the best choice, which for me is to eat a lot of vegetables. We are rice and beans people, so I'll eat that. And I'll learn from what happened that day. So what caused me to have very few calories at the end of the day? So the next day is a new day. I have new mercies, new grace, and I've learned something. So the next time I'm faced with that situation, I already learned something good, and I can make better choices. So the thing for me also is that I've learned is 3 other tricks. Okay, when I have few calories left for the day, let's say I had the amount of calories that I needed for dinner, but I'm still really hungry and it's at the end of the day. If I really, really feel like I need something, I'll drink tea with Splenda, or I would tell Zeke what's happening, and he usually talks me out of making bad choices, or I'll just go to sleep. One thing that I do encourage you to do is be a student of yourself. Don't let this situation cause you to feel shame, condemnation, and guilt, but forgive yourself. And that's one of the hallmarks of my journey. I have learned how to forgive myself over and over again. Learn from the situation, and then the next time you're faced with it again, because you will be faced with something similar again, you know how to make better choices. So that's how I do that. If I have no calories and I still have to have dinner, I make the best choice possible. I'll learn, from what happened that day. Because if it keeps happening over and over and over again, you have to deal with the root of the problem and kind of make your distribution a little bit better. Learn how to forgive yourself. And if you just have to stay awake and you really want something, I would just do a tea. I also do water, just drink a bunch of water because that kind of fills your stomach, or just go to rest because that's what your body really needs. So thank you so much for the question. Another question is, how do you remain motivated in the beginning? And how do you keep yourself focused to continue doing it in the beginning? So the most challenging step is the first step. At least it was for me, because you are dealing with dread, you're dealing with fear, failure. But once you take that first step, God is really faithful to help you throughout your journey. That's what happened to me. So my motivation at the beginning was the answer to the question, what's in it for me? Once I answered that question, and for me, I have several answers. Number one is health. I had high blood pressure issues, so that kind of kept me motivated. My numbers, from cholesterol to all of that stuff, also kept me motivated. My health, my fitness competition stuff also kept me motivated. Just the simple fact that I needed to have a normal BMI kept me motivated. And there are many, many other reasons. So what I do also is to make sure that I keep those things where I can see it. You have to keep your motivation where you can see it, because otherwise you'll forget it. So I keep those written down either in the refrigerator or in the bathroom mirror, both places, because I'm there often. So I just keep my motivation, my goal, my what's in it for me in front of me, and that kind of keeps me motivated to keep going. There were seasons where I was part of weight loss groups such as Weight Watchers, and that kind of kept me motivated. I have a meeting to go to, so I would like to do well, and they kind of help you motivate you along the way. So I would answer the question, what's in it for me? Post it somewhere, place your goals and revisit your goals often. That's how I stay motivated. And the next question is, how do you keep yourself focused and continue doing? In the beginning, I just take it a week at a time, a day at a time. So you kind of stay focused that way. And I'm a goal-oriented person. I love lists. So when I hit the correct amount of water that I need to drink and the exercise for the day, that kind of stuff kind of keeps motivated. So I would, as a student of your own journey, I would find out what motivates me, put it and write it, revisit it often, and just go from there. And if you need extra support, there are different groups that you can join that will help you as well. The next question is, how do you manage cravings? So cravings happen to all of us, and in the beginning, I used a very simple formula, which is, how do you kill anything? You just don't feed it. I used to crave Arby's, which at the end of a long work day, we would just go and eat. So what I did was I thought about what can I do without and what I cannot do without. So Arby's I could definitely do without, because that salty thing is just doesn't catch my attention. It's just not what I really like. I really like sweets. And then I thought, what kind of sweets I prefer above all else, because there are so many options out there. And for me, it's dark chocolate. So with the Arby's stuff, I just killed those cravings. I just, decided not to go there. So we just never been back. It's been years. So I can do without. Fast food is not that big of a deal. But desserts, I like them very, very much. So I just decided to think, which one, and for me is dark chocolate, 70%, and there are certain brands that I prefer. And what I did was I try to include it in my weekly allowance per se, in a way that it will not hurt my whole health journey effort. So I've had seasons where I would eat a little bit every day and I was losing weight very well, and there are the seasons where I decide, there's a big party coming up, I would like to go, or it's Mother's Day, my family is taking me out to my favorite restaurant, I will have dessert. So I'll wait, until I get there. That does not mean that I didn't have a fruit for dessert or something that was not hurting the journey, but it was helping. So just to make this long answer short, find out what you really can do without. What do you really prefer? And I remember even trying to talk myself out of not eating cookies anymore, because compared to dark chocolate, I can do without cookies for the rest of my life. Do I still eat them? Yeah, but dark chocolate for me is what I really, really like. So that's my thing. So that's how I deal with cravings. You kill the ones that are really not important for you, and the ones that are, just put it within your weekly allowance. And I think it's more rewarding that way, because you eat what you like, it is high quality, and your health journey will not suffer. The next question is, how does it feel to be 50 pounds lighter? And I got a similar question on Twitter from my friend Stacy. She had several questions. What was the hardest part? Key to your success, stay motivated, and how does it feel? So the hardest part for me is dealing with feelings of guilt, of shame, of condemnation. Those feelings were very familiar, because in the past, when I was trying to lose weight and I was failing miserably, those feelings were always there. So this time I learned that I cannot entertain them. I may feel them, but they are not permanent part of this health journey. So the hardest part was just to making sure that I get them out of my way. And honestly and truly, I am a Christian and I love God, and focusing on His Word and the way He feels about me really helped me to get those feelings out of the way, because that's not the way He sees me, and that's not His plan for me. So that's how I learned how to manage those. The key to my success. There are many parts to it, but becoming a student of my own journey, finding out what works for me, has been essential, because I don't jump in any bad bandwagon that comes along the way, because I know exactly what works for me. And again, as a Christian, it came through prayer. 7-8 years ago, I prayed and I asked God to help me, because my health was really suffering, and I needed to find something that would work for me. So as the creator, He told the creation what to do. So that revolutionized my life. And I'm a true believer that God can tell you what you do in order to get your health in check. And of course, I'm going to the doctor, and I still do. Like, I have my annual exams, and my numbers are looking fabulous and amazing. And I thank God for giving me a second chance, which I took. And the journey has been full of ups and downs. Like, some weeks again, I've had a lot of things to happen along the way. Had babies, had losses. But through it all, God has been faithful, and I, as a student of my own journey, I have been able to keep making progress. And that's what I wanted to see. I didn't want to just to do the yo-yo thing anymore. So thank God it's been really successful this time. Staying motivated, I answered that before, how I stay motivated, and it's keeping my goals in front of me. And one of my main goals was to have a normal BMI, which I didn't have, So keeping that goal in front of me, and also listing the things that I needed to do in order to get there, were very, very helpful. And how does it feel? It feels good to be in a place where I can be everything that God has called me to be. He's called me to be a wife, a mother, and because my health is better, I can do what God has called me to do so much better. I have a little saying that I tell my husband. The reason I'm going in this health journey, the reason why I get out there and I exercise, is not for vanity, but it is for sanity. It is for health. You know what I mean? So it will not solve all your problems being over 50 pounds lighter. I tell you that because it's true, but it will put you in a place where you can be the best person that you can be, and you can achieve those things that God has called you to achieve, and you won't be suffering because of the things that you can avoid, as far as, health ailments are concerned. So these are all the questions that I have. I pray that in your health journey that you're encouraged. Another thing that I didn't mention, but I'm a true believer, is that you're supposed to take small steps. I took, and I still am, taking small steps. It's taken over 2 years to get this done, but you know what? It's permanent. It's different than it was before. And I believe that I am going to enjoy lifelong health because of these little steps towards better health that I'm taking. So if you're in your own journey, be encouraged. Hang in there, stay motivated, reach out. And if you have any more questions, if I can help you in any other way, I will be glad to do it. Thanks for watching. This is Cintia with simplycintia.com. Bye-bye.